What's up, my Wizards dev? SBMTG down there, you know, we got some more Shadows over Innistrad spoilers because they come like every single day and they're always good. Usually there's like a dry day of spoilers, but this has been a pretty good spoiler season so far. We see really good cards like every day, or at least interesting cards, and today's no different. We got a lot of pretty wacky stuff and a lot of pretty strong stuff too, so let's go ahead and show it to you. Well, the most recent card spoiled so far, at least as of the recording of this video, is this Scourge Wolf. It was spoiled about 1:30 in the morning Eastern time over here in the States, and it's pretty darn good. Scourge Wolf is 2 red mana for a 2/2 Wolf Horror with first strike, and if you have Delirium, Scourge Wolf is double strike. So Red Green Wolves gets yet another pretty darn good piece. This reminds me of a lot of things, like Ash Zealot and Blood Knight, you know, just kind of reminds me of old school knights in a lot of ways, you know. 2 mana of its respective color, 2/2 first strike, and this one can get pretty awesome. Double strike is nice, but in like mono red aggro and even Red Green Wolves, it might be tough to get Delirium online. We're not really sure yet. This looks like a pretty solid card for the decks that want to play it. Not really sure again about mono red aggro, but Red Green Wolves, yeah, absolutely. It needed something exactly like this. Speaking of Red Green Wolves, next card I want to talk about is Howlpack Resurgence. It's a 3 mana enchantment that's 2 of anything and a green mana, and it has flash. That's pretty awesome, first of all. And each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf gets +1/+1 and has trample. An Anthem effect that can be used as a combat trick. You can sign me up for that right now. And a lot of people are lamenting that this is not a creature, you know, and I get that. You want to fill your curve out with things that can actually deal damage, but the fact that this is an enchantment actually makes it much harder to remove, much harder for them to deal with, so there's that. Also like that it's a tribe-specific Anthem, you know. I've liked the innovative design on the lords that we've seen for the tribes so far, but I've really kind of missed everything gets +1/+1, you know? And I'm glad that we see that here. I also like how well this works with Silverfur Partisan and Arlen Cord, you know? They both give you wolf tokens, and with this thing, they're 3/3s. That's nothing to sneeze at. Next thing I want to talk about is drawing a lot of discussion, but it's mostly, you know, hate-based. I totally understand why, but we'll talk about the card. This is Fevered Visions. It's yet another 3 mana enchantment. That's 1 of anything, a blue and a red, and at the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If that player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in hand, Visions deals 2 damage to them. Seems pretty bad to a lot of people, but there are some people rejoicing, including Sphinx's Tutelage players in Standard. I'll talk about that in just a second. Nakusar players in Commander really love this, and Owling Mind players in Modern even think there might be a place for this as well. I played a lot of Tutelage. Is this good in Tutelage? You know, that's my answer. We are losing Monastery Siege, which is a 3 mana enchantment that some people play in this deck, but a lot of people have already replaced Monastery Siege with Oath of Jace, you know. You're really going to play 3 different 3 mana enchantments in Tutelage, you know. We don't really care about the damage, and I have to point this out, the damage isn't going to happen against a lot of decks, you know. Like mid-range control, you'll get it. Mid-range isn't guaranteed or anything, but control, you'll get it a lot of the time. And aggro, it's pretty much never going to happen. You're just letting them get an extra card. So I'm not really sure. I mean, this is not like Dictative Crufix. That would be pretty cool if it was, but it's not. And in Tutelage, you're never going to kill them with the 2 damage. You know, it takes like 10 turns to do it. And that's assuming that they have 4 or more cards in their hand every single turn, you know. That is something people are confused about. It's like, some people think that it's 2 damage for each card over 4. No, it just deals 2 damage flat, no matter how many cards above 4 they have, or 4 or more. So, you know, I'm not like super thrilled about the card, all things considered, but I do think there are, you know, some niche groups of players that are really excited. So next thing is Houndwire Militia Captain, and it transforms into Westvale Cult Leader. Houndwire Militia Captain costs 1 of anything and a white to cast. It's a 2/2 human soldier. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 or more creatures, you transform Militia Captain into Westvale Cult Leader, which has a power toughness of star. That star equals the number of creatures you control. That's pretty cool, but this is even cooler. At the beginning of your end step, you get a 1/1 white and black human cleric token. Human Tribal is like really filling out. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I like that this, you know, sustains itself, makes itself bigger, pumps out creatures. That's always awesome. And it has good synergy with Thalia's Lieutenant on top of all that. So I think this card is actually pretty awesome. Like, if you're building humans, it's definitely like auto includes. Didn't think that I would be like super excited to play with humans, but I'm getting there. You know, deck's coming along pretty nicely is all I'm saying. Next up is Angelic Purge, which actually might be better than it looks. We'll talk about it. Angelic Purge is 2 of anything and a white mana for a sorcery. When you play it, you sacrifice a permanent. and then you exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. This takes out like a pretty large spread of things, and sometimes sack outlets can be pretty good, you know? We see sack outlets in Standard already, and sacking a permanent is actually kind of nice, you know? You can sort of set up for Delirium strategically that way, so that seems good. It's like Oblivion Ring and Bone Splinters had a baby. I kind of like that about it, you know? One thing I want to know is, again, I'm going to call out Pauper players, is this a good card in Pauper, you know? Next thing up has drawn a lot of hate, actually, probably more than any card so far spoiled today, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. This is Gold Knight Castigator. It's 2 of anything and 2 red. For an angel, it's a 4/9 with flying and haste, and if a source would deal damage to you, it deals double that damage to you instead. Right? If a source would deal damage to Gold Knight Castigator, it deals double that damage to the Castigator also instead. Again, a lot of people saying that this is awful, but I'm going to play devil's advocate because that's what I'd like to do. First thing I need to point out is that a 4-power evasive haster on turn 4 just screams aggro finisher to me, you know? And like Thunderbreak Regent, Pied and Karan are probably better cards for some decks, but nothing says like pure speed like this. This will probably be the fastest 4-drop in Standard, so if you're building just pure mono red hit their face as quickly as possible, this may actually make the cut. It's immune to things like Grasp of Darkness and Languish, which are both very, very popular cards in the format, to say the least. And if you're about to take a buttload of damage off of like a swing or a big, you know, direct damage spell, just sack it to a Bone Splinters or an Antuco Husk, or like, best case scenario, sack it to Alien, gain 9 life. And one more thing, for the next few months, Assault Formation is still in the format. So yeah, red-green Assault Formation with like this and Crater Elemental, that's probably at least tryable. All in all, this does look pretty terrible in like a mirror match, you know, but against like Control, once you resolve it, it actually looks pretty good because it's going to beat like some of the removal in their deck. So definitely is maybe at least. Next thing here, another red card, is Avacyn's Judgment. It is 1 of anything and a red for a sorcery with Madness, X, and a red. Avacyn's Judgment deals 2 damage divided as you choose among any number of creatures and or players. And if its Madness cost was paid, it deals X damage divided any way you choose among creatures and or players. Okay, I kind of do like this. It can kill 2 Hangerback Walker tokens or 1 Jace. It can kill a Falcon Wrath Gorger and an Asylum Visitor at the same time. It can just do 2 to the face or to a Planeswalker, remember that. And when played with Madness, this just becomes a better fireball, you know? You don't have to pay the extra mana to split targets. So, seems pretty good. Better Twin Bolt is probably good, you know? I kind of was on the verge of liking Twin Bolt anyway, but this just seems much, 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 much better. And there's super secret tech with this and red-green wolves, because if you have like a Silverfur Partisan out, then you can play this and deal like 1 damage apiece to 2 of your wolves. They stay alive, and you get, you know, you net 2 wolves out of that equation. So seems that's something at least worth mentioning. Well, that's all I got for you today. A lot of interesting stuff spoiled as usual. We'll see what else we get as the set moves on here. We're already halfway through. I should say, like, we're only halfway through. It seems like we've seen a lot of really, really good stuff so far. We've seen like 16 mythics or something. So, I mean, who knows? We've seen 4 Planeswalkers, 16 mythics, you know. But there's still half the freaking set to go. So, who knows what else we'll see. I'll be there with you guys. And we got deck techs coming up, including Esper Control. And a lot of people want me to build Grixis. That's probably going to happen. Zombies people want, going to happen. And, of course, what I've already talked about here, red-green wolves, going to happen. Humans, going to happen. So, like, a million deck techs that we got coming up in the next few months here. So, sub if you're new. You want to catch all that content. If you enjoyed this content, like, share, and comment. Let me know how you felt and how awesome it is. Or, if I screwed anything up, let me know. If I, evaluated a card way too high, I want to know about that, too. So, we'll discuss. We'll talk. And I'll see you guys later, man. I'm Deb from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.